Good evening, I'm Dominic Vidiello, and welcome to our live 10 p.m. broadcast. And our top story tonight, a recent near-death experience for a Butte resident inspired her to advocate for people with severe food allergies. NBC Montana's Josh Margolis is working for you to find out the potentially deadly risks of sesame and why more of it is showing up in bread products across the country.
Eddi Walker is a longtime and active member of the Butte community. She's a full-time substitute teacher who finds time for volunteering, coaching Special Olympics, and one of her favorite pastimes, running.
I want to be able to continue running as long as I can. There's a lady that's 101 setting track records. I want to be that lady. I want to be 101 and still running.
But her fulfilling life in the mining city nearly came to a tragic end while she was eating food catered by Pork Chop John's while volunteering at the state track tournament. Walker is allergic to sesame, and the food she ate sent her into anaphylactic shock.
I took 2 bites, and I knew immediately something was wrong because my lips started getting tingly and bumpy.
Her throat started to close up, and a trainer injected her with an EpiPen, and then she went to the hospital. Her condition improved, but the effects of her reaction lingered, making it feel like her throat was closing again days later.
I don't know much about it. If it's each time I get something, I get worse, but it's frightening because I don't want to die that way.
We reached out to Pork Chop John's, and a representative told us they were not aware that sesame was added to the buns they used until Walker's allergic reaction. And they now have signs posted warning customers at both of their restaurants. Walker is one of more than 1.5 million Americans allergic to sesame. A federal law called the FASTER Act went into effect this year to improve food labeling. It requires any retail food product that contains sesame or could be cross-contaminated to be clearly marked. But some say the law is having an unintended effect. Some bakers are now putting sesame into more of their products instead of working to prevent cross-contamination, which would be more expensive. Food safety advocates say the development isn't trickling down to consumers, catching those with allergies off guard.
They didn't communicate that information to Americans or to us or to anyone. A few companies did, and we're grateful for them notifying us, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, and others. However, the vast majority of bakers never notified their customers about this. And so we've seen these horrible situations of like what we see in Butte.
Lindy points the blame at the American Bakers Association. He says they initially showed support while the bipartisan bill made its way through Congress. But that changed after the law passed.
At no point did the bakers ever raise an objection to this. And only as the implementation date came closer did they then start to do this behavior, which is just shameful.
To make things even more confusing for those with allergies, some products now include sesame flour, but not the seeds, making it invisible to the naked eye.
Because it's impossible to see, it's only after consumption do we learn the horrible truth.
Lindy says his organization is working to close this loophole, but that has to happen at the federal level. We reached out to the American Bakers Association. They did not respond to requests for comment in time for publication. However, last month, CEO Eric Dell released a statement saying that consumer safety is their top priority, and they are urging Congress to call on the FDA to establish a sesame allergen threshold. Dell says they want to find practical solutions that are compliant with the law while also feeding America. So what can you do to prevent allergic reactions to sesame? It's all about vigilance, especially around baked goods. And Lindy says it's especially important to check ingredient lists, and that includes parents with children in school. And that's something Eddi Walker echoes.
Read the products, ask the restaurants, and if they complain about it, then get up and leave, because your life's not worth it if they can't accommodate you on the allergy list.
For more information on how to know what products contain sesame and what to do in the case of an emergency, visit our website, NBCMontana.com. In Butte for NBC Montana, I'm Josh Margolis.
And if you have a question or problem you want to send our way, write down our email, NBCMontanaTips@sbgtv.com. We're always working for you to get the answers you need.